गणपतये नमः। ॐ सरस्वत्यै नमः। ॐ श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः। अखण्डमण्डलाकारम् व्याप्तं येन चराचरम् तत्पदं दर्शितं येन तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः। अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः। ॐ दुं दुर्गायै नमः। Who is Kali? How does she work? How does she look? How can we perceive her? Let us dwell on meditating on Kali, and maybe she will reveal herself, all the qualities of hers into our understanding. So, Adi Parashakti, she is the primordial pure energy. However, her grandest ultimate manifestation is Mahakali. Mahakali. So, let us dwell on who that Mahakali is and then who Kali is. Relax. In the pure consciousness, Sat Atma, which is pure existence, there is no time or space there is no manifestation. Thick darkness. In that pure consciousness, which is inert, there is eternity. Mahakala. There is ever expansiveness as Mahakali. When there is vibration of Shakti within that inert consciousness, Mahakala manifests, which we perceive as Kala, the dynamic, cyclical time. That is, in that eternity, unmanifested Mahakala when there is vibration, manifests as Kala, which we perceive as dynamic, cyclical time. Ever expansiveness, which is thick darkness. Mahakali, with the vibration, manifests as Desha, the space. We perceive it as dynamic space. And both Kala and Desha, the time and space, they coexist. As though they are two sides of the same coin. Time and space. Kala, Desha. And Kali represents both time and space. And she is the universal power, universal energy, ruling, governing the whole manifested, ever moving universe. That is Kali. And hence, she is described, perceived as dark death, time, space, universal power, Kali. She's governing the whole cosmos and also in individual level as well. So, let us study from the perspective of Durga Saptashati, which describes her characteristics, nature, and her work in detail. So, let me make it more clear. If we take this ever expansive circle as Sat Atma, which is inert consciousness, which is thick darkness, no manifestation in that at all. Unmanifested Mahakala as with the potency of Kala is there as eternity. Mahakali as ever expansiveness. And when there is vibration in this inert consciousness, they manifest as Kala, which is cyclical in nature, Kali as the space, which the individuals, the human beings, we perceive Kali as Kala as well as Desha, the space. So, let us study from the perspective of Durga Saptashati, how she is applicable to the whole cosmos and to an individual. When we think of time and space, individually when we take, the biological clock is so perfect and smooth in its work that it keeps moving from the first breath we take to the last breath we take, clicking the time continuously and smoothly. The body and the mind are controlled by that time. In the same way, Desha, the space. From the time of the first day of our birth to the day of our death, we go through expansion of the body, the space. That also happens, the expansion of the body happens smoothly, gradually, and continuously. So, how is it happening in every individual is through the presence of Kali actively involved in every individual, be it animal, plant, or human beings. So both mind and body are controlled by Kali. Her presence is there every moment, all the time, from the first breath to the last breath. That is Kali. भ्रुकुटी कुटिलात्तस्य ललाटफलकादृतम् कालीकरालवदना विनिष्क्रान्तासि पाशिनी. From the knotted eyebrows with so much of anger of Ambika, Chandika, Kali emerged along with Asi, that is the sword, Pasha, that is noose. And how does she look? Karalavadana, with terrible face. And Kali, and she's also dark. Asi, it cuts off the negativity which is coming in the form of asuras. Pashini, she's holding the nose to draw towards herself, towards purity. It happened not only in the battlefield, in the physical level, but also mental level, which is Sukshma Sharira. She uses both Asi and Pasha to draw us towards her. Vichitra Khatvangadhara Naramala Vibhushana Dvipi Charma Paridhana Shushkamamsati Bhairava. Vichitra Khatvangadhara. Vichitra, it is very unique and very different kind of staff topped with the skull. Naramala, she is holding the garland of skull of the human being as mala, and she is decorated with vibhushana. Dvipi charma paridhana, she is she is having the garment as that tiger skin around her. Shushka mamsa ati bhairava, intensely dreadful. Ati bhairava. How? Shushka mamsa. Because she's stuck with the dried flesh of all those asuras who are stuck on her body. So she looks dreadful. Ati bhairava. Ati vistaravadana jihva lalana bhishana nimagna raktanayana nada purita dimmukha. Ati vistaravadana. She has that wide mouth. Wide mouth. Ati vistaravadana. The widest possible mouth she has. Jihva lanana bhishana. And her tongue is drooping down. It is dangling, lolling all the way. Nimagna rakta nayana. And her eyes are deeply sunk inside, but they are very red. Nada purita dingmukha, like loudspeakers in all directions, which can take the sound of her roar all the way to the endless, expansive directions. So this gives us the full picture of who Kali is. Kali Vinishkranta, she came forth from the eyebrows of Ambika or Chandika. So Vinishkranta, the minute she comes out, that means the clicking of the time has begun. The time has taken over. Ati Vistaravadana, ever expansive space, is described as Ati Vistaravadana, or even Jihva Lalana Bhishana. She looks dreadful with that ever expanding tongue covering the whole. She's that dreadful Bhishana. That is space. Karalavadana. And she looks so terrible. She is none other than time, which is violent and horrific. It just comes without notice. And without notice, time is unforgiving. It just snatches away as death. So the nature of time is very, very strict, and it doesn't care whether it's a good person or bad person, whether intelligent or very dull, poor or rich, without any discrimination. Kala, the time, takes away the death. Everything which is manifested, created, has to go through this Kali, who is governing the Kala. And Ati Vistaravadana and Jihva Lalana Bhishana. These two expressions show how she is the ruler of even the space. When Kali has opened her mouth, Vistaravadana, and with the drooping tongue which goes all around the earth, that means she is not leaving even a single form to escape the death from this manifested physical world. Ati Vistaravadana. And it also shows how Kali's hunger for death is so strong that it can never be filled. That drooping tongue is readily waiting to take the next death in her. So it is like a warning to the seeker. Kali. She is there with us all the time, every moment. No doubt she is protecting us as long as we are on this earth. However, she is also very strict, governing the Kala and Desha. She sees that every manifested form is taken off by hitting with death, destroying. And then also we can see that Dvipi Charma Paridhana. What is the tiger skin? When tiger is alive, it has so many qualities in it. But once it has gone in the hands of Kali, it loses all its nature and everything, but it is equivalent to a thing which can be draped around. So It comes down to that. As a seeker, when Kali has taken over, killing all the negative asuric qualities in us, those negative qualities will become nothing but a dry cloth, like garment to that seeker. His desires, his thoughts, be it good or bad, everything will become valueless, and it becomes without any strength in it. It is just ready to be worn as just a garment. And then Shushka Mamsati Bhairava, a person who is overtaken by Kali, who has been protecting the seeker to reach towards the final goal, which is realization of self. That involvement of Anthakarana with the self makes him feel the body, physical body, is nothing but Shushka Mamsa. He won't be giving any importance for the beauty of the body, or he won't be attached to the body as such. It is just there as Shushka Mamsa. So, a seeker, when he goes to the point where he is in touch with Kali Ma, these are all the feelings he gets. These are all the experiences he feels and experiences. Ativistaravadana jihva lalana bhishana nimagna raktanayana. Nimagna, the eyes are sunken. That means when you are feeling something attractive, the eyes become protruded. With wonder, it protrudes because the mind is actively looking for outward things. But when the mind, Anthakarana, has gone to seek that self within, naturally the eyes will become smaller and sunken. That Rakta Varna is because he is deeply in touch with that Atma, the self. His desire, his love, his attention is towards that self, not towards the outward things. So it is only suggestive, the Nayana being Nimagna and Rakta. It can be for all other senses as well. Nada Purita Dingmukha, her loud roar is telling us Srishti also happens. Nada is the very source. When there was slight vibration in that consciousness, which was inert, in the outermost, ever expansive Sat, just the pure existence. When there is slight vibration in that inert consciousness, the first resultant, the first thing which was produced is Om Nada. Nada. From that nada manifested the whole universe as it picked up the intensity in its frequency. So, nada purita dingmukha, not only creation, sustenance is also happening through that nada, which is reaching all the directions, which is ever expansive. And we are seeing that in Durga Saptashati, in many of the battles, the roaring sound is killing so many asuras. So, Laya is also taking place through the sound, Nada. Nada Purita Ding Mukha, which is spreading all over directions. And also, Kali is described as Nagna, nude. Why is it so? She is time, which is crude, rude, rough and tough, because the time will never stop just because it is happy moment, or just because it is auspicious, or just because it is felt good. No, the time keeps moving and hitting everyone, and it doesn't have any spicy covering to what the time is. It is very nude. The time is nude. It is raw and it hits so bluntly. It covers the whole manifestation, Kala. That characteristic of time, the behavior of time, the nature of time is expressed as nudity through Kali. So that Kali who is described in Durga Saptashati is getting into the battle. What did she do? सा वेगेनाभिपतिता घातयन्ती महासुरान् सैन्ये तत्र सुरारीणाम् अभक्षयत् तद्बलम्. Falling upon the army, Ghatayanti, Mahasuran, the great warriors, Asuran, she just fell on them. Sainye Tatra Surarinam, on the whole army, Asura army. Abhakshayat Tadbalam, she gulped, ate off, devoured the whole army. Parshnigrahankushgraha योधघण्टासमन्वितान् समादायैकहस्तेन मुखे चिक्षेपवारणान्. Kali, who is the governing universal power, time and space is under her control. So what is she doing? Parshnigrahankushagraha. She grasped the whole huge armies there. She grasped with her grip the last army men who were also holding Ankusha in their hands. She grabbed them. That means Vistara. And Yodha Ganta Samanvita. warriors, along with their bell, to make too much of sound to create havoc. What did she do? Samadaika hastena. She grabbed all those army people in one hand. Samadaika eka hastena. Mukhe chikshepa varanan. And she ate those army people, and also she flung the elephants in her mouth. So, as consciousness in individual sadhakas, devotees, Kali is devouring all thoughts, elephant like thoughts, strong army like thoughts, who are trying to protect the negativity in the seeker. That she is killing and gulping all the thoughts in the sadhaka who has surrendered to that Kali. She is taking care. And this is how our meditative mind should be. Gulping, gulping, gulping the thoughts, which are the very source of the existence of mind and the body. So those thoughts could be like elephants, are the great powerful army men with so many weapons, not allowing the devotee or seeker to concentrate and surrender. She's helping. And next, तथैव योधं तुरगै रथं सारथिना सह निक्षिप्य वक्त्रे दशनैः चर्वयन्त्यति भैरवम्. Tathaiva, in the same way, likewise, she took the horse, the chariot, and the charioteer all together. Nikshipya vaktre, she put all inside her mouth. Dashanaihi charvayanti, and with her teeth she started grinding. Not just the men, Yodha, the warrior who is sitting, Turaga, the horse, Ratha, and the driver of that Sarathina, Saha, along with the chariot, the charioteer, the horse, and the Yodha warrior who was in that Ratha. She took it in her mouth and grinding it with her teeth. Charvayanti Bhairavam. And what can we understand by this? A seeker should imbibe the quality of this Kali to go beyond duality and multiplicity. She is not differentiating between what it is. She is clearing off the battlefield without leaving any form which is negative to be present in the kshetra, which is Yuddha kshetra. So if we take this body and the mind as the Yuddha kshetra, like Kali, we should be able to gulp in whatever comes in our life, be it living or non-living, whether it is moving or non-moving. We should be able to gulp grind it and make it flat. That is Kali nature. So if we look at it also, it is very understandable. Kali, the pure conscious form, other than her, everything else is illusory manifestations. And that manifestation is there in the mind, isn't it? Just like the whole dream world, which has living, non living things, everything is there in the mind of the dreamer. Once he wakes up, yes, that person has gulped, he has grinded that living and non living, all things in the dream world, and he's clean out of it. It is the same thing in this manifested Jagrut state of existence as well. Kali. So one should go beyond the multiplicity, the duality, when we want to reach that self-realization. Knowing that grinding is happening through the teeth. The teeth is nothing but the wisdom which we use to live with the right knowledge and move accordingly. See how much she is teaching us. Maa Durga. Ekam jagraha kesheshu ग्रीवायामथ चापरम् पादेनाक्रम्य चैवान्यम् उरसान्यमपोथयत्. She seized Jagraha, holding the kesha, the hair. Another one with the neck. Grivayam atha chaparam. Padena kramya chaivanyam. Others see she smashed with her weight of her feet. Pushing them, smashing them. Urasanyan anyam apothayat. Others, by the strong chest of hers, she crushed them as well. तैर्मुक्तानि च शस्त्राणि महास्त्राणि तथा सुरैः मुखेन जग्राहरुषा दशनैर्मथितान्यपि. Once again. मुखेन जग्राहरुषा दशनैर्मथितान्यपि. तैर्मुक्तानि च शस्त्राणि महास्त्राणि तथा सुरैः. By those asuras, the shastras and astras which were powerful, she caught with her mouth, mukhena jagraha, rusha, with so much of anger, and dashanaihi, with her teeth, she crunched it up. So here, shastra, astra, there is difference. Astra is thrown, shot to attack someone, like the arrows, missiles, and trident. Whereas shastras are those weapons held at the hand and fought, like the sword or mace. So there is difference, but she was able to take all in her mouth and crunched it up with her teeth. Balinam tadbalam sarvam asuranam duratmanam mamarda bhakshayachanyan anyamscha tadayattara. Balinam tadbalam sarvam, that host of mighty and evil natured asuras, duratmanam mamarda, she destroyed them and devoured some, and she battered many others. So, as time and space, she's using her choice, will, wisdom to tackle different asuras with different level of strength in proper way. Asina nihata केचित् खट्वाङ्गताडिताः जग्मुर्विनाशमसुरा दन्ताग्राभिहतास्तथा. Asina nihata kechit, few kechit. Some army people were attacked by her through the sword. They were killed. Nihata. Kechit khatvanga tadita, with her very unique staff with that skull on top. With that, she beat them. Jagmur Vinasham Asura, and many of the other asuras, they met their death. Dantagra Abhihatas Tatha, being stuck or being ground with her teeth. So when she's holding them tightly with her teeth, naturally they will not be able to escape, but only see the death. क्षणेन तद्बलं सर्वम् असुराणां निपातितम् दृष्ट्वा चण्डोऽभिदुद्राव तां कालीमतिभीषणाम्. क्षणेन तद्बलं सर्वम् असुराणां निपातितम्. Within little time, kshanena, within a minute, that great army of asuras being destroyed, killed, just in a moment. Looking at that, Chanda, with so much of anger, rushed towards Kali. Tam Kali Atibhishanam, who was looking very terrifying. He ran towards her, rushed to fight with her. So, the devotee seeker also goes through this fight with Kali, because the old habits, which could be negative or which could be repetitive, they are not able to come out of it at once just because they want to go in this path. They will have to face so many struggles. शरवर्षैर्महाभीमैः भीमाक्षीं तां महासुरः छादयामास चक्रैश्च मुण्डक्षिप्तैः सहस्रशः. शरवर्षैर्महाभीमैः, with terrible Mahabhimai, strong, terrible showers of arrows. Tam Mahasura, the Chanda, he covered her with those arrows. Chadayamasa, covered the Devi. Even Munda also joined him. Chakraischa, Kshiptaihi, that is, he hurled Sahasrashah, thousands of chakras, the wheels, at Devi. So it was like Devi was covered by the arrows and the chakras. Tani chakranyanekani vishamanaani tanmukham babhuryatarkabimbani subha subaho nighanodaram. Once again. Tani chakranyanekani vishamanaani tanmukham babhuryatharkabimbani subaho nighanodaram. Tani chakrani anekani. So many chakras which were sahasra. So many. Those chakras, vishamanani, of different types and different sizes, went into her mouth. Tanmukham, vishamanani. All the chakras, which were so luminous, went into her mouth. Babu, and it so happened, yatha arka bimbani. Su bahuni ghanodaram. Ghanodaram is cloud. Thick, dark cloud. So it looked, those chakra which were luminous, bright, and coming and going into her mouth looked like the sun being absorbed in that, or entering into that thick, dark cloud. Kali is dark, and that luminous chakras surrounding her were constantly going into her mouth. So it looked like Arka, the sun, going into being eaten up by the thick, dark clouds. So this shows Virat Rupa of Kali, killing and devouring the whole army, everything existing on the battlefield. Virat Rupa. Tato jahasatirusha bhimam bhairavadini Kali Karalavadana Durdarsha Dashanojjvala. Tato Jahasatirusha. Kali laughed terribly. Bhimam Bhairavanadini, with exceedingly furious roar. So she was giving the roar which was loud. Bhairava is terrible. That too, Bhimam Bhairavam. Nadini, with that sound, she was laughing. Jahasa Atirusha, with so much of anger, she started laughing. Kali Karalavadana, one who is with dreadful mouth. Durdarsha Dashanojjvala, that mouth was showing the fearful teeth which were gleaming. So we should visualize how that Kali is looking. For Asuras, it will be looking terrible, dreadful, causing too much of fear in them. It is frightful. But to a bhakta and devotee, the seeker, the same Kali looks so protective and she looks beautiful as well. Because how beautifully she's carrying on the work of protecting. For example, you take cricket play. When they are moving around so fast, the hair will be going here and there. They will be sweating. They will be red here, or they would have become black. In spite of it, when they are playing so beautifully, they look great and adorable. Exactly like that, Kali, she's doing everything like a sport, but which is so intense. So Kali working in us also will be in the same type. So the devotee seeker feels positive about Maa Kali because she's protecting, she's working on us. Only when we become different from her, the vision becomes terrifying. उत्थाय च महासिंहं देवी चण्डमधावत गृहीत्वा चास्य केशीषु शिरस्तेनासिनाच्छिनत्. Mounting on that Simha, Mahasimha, on the lion, great lion, Devi rushed towards Chanda, grabbing him by his hair. She cut off, she separated his head by her sword. Shirastena sina chinat. She severed his head. That means Chanda is done. अथ मुण्डोऽभ्यधावत्ताम् दृष्ट्वा चण्डं निपातितम् तमप्यपात्य यद्भूमौ सा खड्गाभिहतं वृषा. Looking at this Chanda falling down on the earth, on Bhumi, this Munda Abhyadavat towards Devi. He rushed towards Devi. But Devi tam api apatayat bhumau. She made him also lay down on earth, on Bhumi, to striking him with her sword. That means he is also flattened. He is also gone. हतशेषं ततः सैन्यं दृष्ट्वा चण्डं निपातितं मुण्डं च सुमहावीर्यं दिशो भेजे भयातुरम्. Then the remaining army, हतशेषं ततः सैन्यं दृष्ट्वा चण्डं निपातितं मुण्डं च. The rest of the army looking at both Chanda and Munda being laid down on the ground. Sumahaviryam, they were great powers. Chanda and Munda were really great warriors. Looking at them being laid on the ground, Disho Bheje Bhayaturam, with so much of panic, helplessness, they all ran in different directions. So you only think how it will be in a devotee seeker when he goes through this stage. Shirashchandasya kali cha गृहीत्वा मुण्डमेव च प्राह प्रचण्डाट्टहास मिश्रमभ्येत्य चण्डिकाम्. Then the Kali, holding the heads of Chanda and Munda in her hands, she came to Chandika, Praha, and she told Prachandattahasa with loud laughter, roaring laughter, with mingled words. Mishram Abhyetya Chandikam. She went towards Chandika and she told with roaring laughter and with minced words. So, this is also the experience of the devotee seeker. When Kali has taken away the great Asuric negative traits like Chanda and Munda, he becomes one with that Kali and he goes through the mixed emotions of tears, joy, laughter, and he becomes stunned and the words will not flow in his mouth. It becomes somewhat minced and it is mixed with so many things. So it's a very different kind of experience which he goes through. Maya tavatropahritav चण्डमुण्डौ महापशु युद्धयज्ञे स्वयं शुम्भं निशुम्भं च हनिष्यसि. So, what did she say? Kali, holding the heads of Chanda and Munda. Here I have brought you the heads of Chanda and Munda. Maya tava atra upakritau Chandamundau Mahapashu, the great animals which are like oblation, offering. Where? To the Yuddha Yajna. So this battle which is like Yajna, Yuddha Yajna, in that I have brought these two heads as Mahapashu, as oblation, offering. In this Yajna, Swayam, O Chandika, Swayam, you only tackle and kill both Shumbha and Nishumbha. So it has so much of meaning here, what we can understand. Even the battle which all these Devis are fighting is for the cause of bringing peace, harmony in the cosmos as well as within the individual. So, Yuddha Yajna, in this, as a devotee seeker, as an individual, all the negative traits have to be offered as oblation. Let it get burnt so that the mind is free to go within and be one with that Kali, who will be able to receive the oblation which is given, ahuti, as prasada, all the good things as prasad. What is that good thing? The clear knowledge about who this Kali is, why she's working in me, in what way she's protecting me, in what way I am one with her, how she is in conscious form in within me, and I am that conscious form. Other than conscious form, there is no other form which is eternal. Everything is illusory. So that jnana would be the prasada which a devotee seeker receives. And yajna here is the process of universal metabolism which is taking place. The yuddha is happening between asuras and devas, where the exchange of energies is happening, but the energies are of different qualities, positive, negative, and also of different intensity. So if you look at it, the constant battle which keeps happening between Kali, Mahakali, Mahalakshmi, Mahasaraswati, Durga, and the Asuras is nothing but for the well-being of the cosmos and the well-being of the individual. So it is nothing but yajna, a great sacrifice. Yajna, Yuddha Yajna. So Chanda, who is he? The extrovert psychic power, which has so much of passion, cruelty, violence, and Munda is introvert psychic energy, which is dealing with the intelligence, inner turmoil, churning. So, when that passion, like Chanda, with so much of negativity, holds the being, even though he is working towards self realization, it will act as only obstruction. So, with too much of passion and attachment, when we do any work, be it good, it becomes an obstacle to go to the next level. So, Chanda is pravritti, the thoughts which are taking the next action in the outer world. It is outward actions, Chanda. And he is violent and with so much of passion, with extrovert mind is working. That is what we are. 90% of the time, our five senses, mind, intellect, everything is looking out, interacting, and for the well-being of all these things, which are nothing but illusory and momentary. It is not permanent. Every second it is changing. So nothing is there for me to hang on to, but I am involving myself in the outer world. That is nothing but pravritti, which is like Chanda. Munda, introvert psychic power, which is working with so much of emotions, attachment, mind to me. These are the things which will also obstruct our progress in self-realization. So in that way, Chanda Munda being killed by Kali shows that once that Chanda pravrutti is gone, that same pravrutti will transform itself as constant practice towards going within. If we contemplate, we understand how our each interaction in the outer world can transcend as good practice or abhyasa for us to go within. It is transcended. So only through constant practice, through surrender, through meditation, one gets to understand this. Munda, who gives up the good values and is always thinking of self-centered, acquiring, asserting things. That type of Munda, when he is killed by Kali, that giving up, nivritti, will become positive and it becomes a natural vairagya. We won't be attached to things and we won't assert things. So, this Chanda and Munda are very closely associated with us and with our behavior. We have Ashtapashas, the 8 bondage, which are there, and they are represented in the army of Asuras. They are all Pashas, Pashas, the bondages. Yudha Yuddha, that is Grina, which is dislike. Kambu, that is Lajja, which is shame. Kotivirya, which is Bhaya, fear. Dhaumra, which is Shankha, the doubt. Kalaka, which is Jugupsa, disgust. Daurhindra, that is Kula, family, caste, identity, that is also an abstraction. Maurya, that is Shila or pride in morality. Having that pride in morality, that is also an obstacle, Pasha. It binds us. Kalakeya, that is Jati, racial identity. So even though these look somewhat not very harmful, but it is very, very binding. Superficially, it might look, it's okay, I can manage, but it's not the case. They can be very restrictive and later it becomes harmful. All these Ashtapashas. So Devis will be taking different forms to tackle these Pashas. And how do they do it? They take the 9 Shaktis from the deities like Shiva, Brahma, Guha, and they all tackle all these different aspects in the devotee seeker. So let us see what they are. And each Devi will be sitting in different, presiding in different Navagrahas, and they are helping the devotee seekers. Maheshwari, she is presiding on moon, with helping the mind, governing the mind. Shivaduti or Ambika, she is presiding sun, taking care of the self, the individual self, Jiva. Narasimhi, she's on Mars, the will, she will be taking care. Vaishnavi, Mercury, she brings in order, takes away delusion. Brahmi, she's on presiding on Jupiter, creation and desire. Aindri, she takes care of jealousy and envy, being in Venus. Kali, she's presiding over Saturn, taking care of change or sin. Varahi, she's in Rahu, taking care of pride, arrogance. Kaumari in Ketu for aspiration. So we see how these Devis will be fighting within individuals and also cosmically in this battle. Rishiruvacha तावानीतौ ततो दृष्ट्वा चण्डमुण्डौ महासुरौ उवाच कालीं कल्याणी ललितं चण्डिका वचः. Rishi thus said, thereupon seeing Kali coming with Chanda and Munda, Chandika told that Kali, Uvacha Kalim Kalyani Lalitam, that is playfully. Chandika Vachaha, with playful words. Chandika, cajole, and in making fun kind of words, she told. What did she say? Yasmat chandam cha mundam cha grahitva tvamupagata chamundeti tato loke khyata devi bhavishyasi. Because you have brought me Chanda and Munda, let you be famous with the name Chamunda. So you will be well known as Chamunda in the whole loka, in the world. So it's good if we go through the names, how it goes. Parvati, when she came to have bath, she saw all devatas praising, and out of her came that Kaushiki from her body. So at that moment, Parvati became Kalika because she became black. So Parvati, Kalika refer to the same one manifestation. Kaushiki, who came out of Parvati's body, Kaushiki, Ambika, and Chandika, she will also become Shivaduti in few more verses afterwards. So those three are one and the same. Kaushiki, Ambika, and Chandika. Now, Kali and Chamunda are referring to the same one manifestation. Swasti Shri Markandeya Purane Savarnike Manvantare Devi Mahatmye Chandamundavadho Nama Saptamodhyayah. So next goes to the eighth chapter, where Rakta Bija will be tackled. Dhyana shloka for this is also beautiful and highly uh, guiding and helpful for sadhakas, for self-realization. अरुणां करुणातरङ्गिताक्षीं धृतपाशाङ्कुशबाणचापहस्ताम् अणिमादिभिरावृतां मयूखैः अहमित्येव विभावये भवानी. This is Maha Mantra. The expansive horizon opens to the devotee seeker who is moving towards self-realization as his goal. Arunam Karunatarangitakshim. Devi, who has the eyes which are Arunam, it is red with compassion. Arunam Karuna Tarangitakshim, and that Karuna, out of that red eyes, Aruna is the morning sun, who will be beautiful red color. That kind of eyes she has, which is continuously sending the waves of compassion. Karuna Tarangitakshim. Dhruta, she is holding Pasha, Ankusha, Bana, and Chapa in her hands. Hastam. Why is she holding? What is it? What is it to do with we individuals? Let us see it after the second line. Animadhibiragrutam mayukhaihi. And the Devi is surrounded by the Anima, Mahima, different 8 powers, psychic powers, as the rays of consciousness. It is emitting from her body. Mayukha is the rays. That Devi, Aham ityeva vibhavaye. I will meditate, I will understand, I will experience that Devi as me, who is Bhavani. So here we should remember the Kilaka, which is conscious form. So if Devi is the consciousness who is within, it is emitting the rays of the 8 psychic powers surrounding her. Animadhibi Ravritam, she is surrounded by those rays which her body is emitting. And she is holding Pasha, Ankusha, Bana, and Chapa. Chapa means the bow. That consciousness is holding the mind as the bow. Bana, the 5 arrows of the senses, sense organs, as the Bana. That means she is holding the mind and the five sense organs, Pasha and Ankusha. Ankusha is the wisdom to stop any ignorance or wrongdoing. Pasha, to draw towards herself. That is again another type of wisdom which we will have. Pasha, Ankusha. And it is the body which is emitting those powers. The mind which is that consciousness, Devi, Aham. And it is that consciousness which is Bhavani as well. One who infuses life into this body and the mind. It is the consciousness which induces the life into body and the mind. Bhavani. Bhavani. And it is that consciousness which is activated, Shiva Shakti, as the wife of or the counterpart of consciousness. She is balancing and sustaining body and mind intact. And she's also Bhavani, the consciousness which is giving us the knowledge to know, to experience that this body and mind is, after all, temporary, illusory instrument. I am not the body, I am not the mind. I am that consciousness. I am that Bhavani. I am that Bhavani. That I am is all pervading consciousness, activated consciousness. I am that Bhavani. If we start meditating on this, we can progress a lot in our spiritual path. So, in our sadhana, it opens up such a big new horizon to experience that. First of all, aham, we have to understand. Aham iti eva, aham ityeva. I am nothing but I am only that Bhavani. Vibhavaye. I will meditate, I will understand, I will experience. I am that Bhavani. So, at this level, a seeker has already killed as that conscious form Durga, Madhu, Kaitaba, Mahishasura, Chanda, Munda, Dhumralochana. All these Asuric presence are gone. So now on, we are becoming more sensitive and the deeper operation is taking place now onwards. So to a seeker, this is a very important stage who is in between but progressing really strong. And Rakta Bija is persistent compulsive thought which goes as a process. It is continuous. So that has to be tackled as Rakta Bija. ऋषिरुवाच चण्डे च निहते दैत्ये मुण्डे च विनिपातिते बहुलेषु च सैन्येषु शयितेष्वसुरेश्वरः. After Chanda was killed and Munda was laid down, many battalions were also destroyed. The lord of Asuras, that is Shumbha. What did he do? ततः कोपपराधीनचेताः शुम्भः प्रतापवान् उद्योगं सर्वसैन्यानां दैत्यानामादिदेशः. Then powerful Shumbha, with the mind overcome with so much of anger, commanded and mobilized all the Daitya Asuras. And what did he do? Adya sarva balai Daityaha षडशीतिरुदायुधाः कम्बोनां चतुरशीतिः निर्यान्तु स्वबलैर्वृताः कोटिवीर्याणि पञ्चाशत् असुराणां कुलानि वै शतं कुलानि धौम्राणां निर्गच्छन्तु ममाज्ञया कालका दौर्हृद्या मौर्वाः कालिकेयास्तथा सुराः युद्धाय सज्जा निर्यान्तु आज्ञया त्वरिता मम इत्याज्ञाप्यासुरपतिः शुम्भो भैरवशासनः निर्जगाम महासैन्य सहस्रैर्बहुभिर्वृतः. Now let the 86 asuras, upraising their weapons with all their forces, and 84 Kambu asuras, surrounded by their own forces, let go out. Let the 50 asura families of Kotivirya and 100 families of Daumras, the Mauryas, go forth at my command. Let asuras, Kalakas, Dauhridas, Mauryas, Kalakeyas hasten at my command and march forth ready for the battle. After issuing these orders, Shumbha, the king of Asuras and a ferocious ruler, went forth hurriedly, attended by many thousands of big forces. So it is the lower mind which will never allow the higher mind to be at peace with the self. आयान्तं चण्डिका दृष्ट्वा तत्सैन्यम् अतिभीषणम् जास्वनैः पूरयामास धरणी गगनान्तरम्. Seeing that most terrible Asura army coming towards her, approaching her, Chandika filled into the space the sound, great sound of her, the bow, by pulling the twang of her string, which was binding the bow. With that sound, Dharani Gaganantaram, it filled every inch of the manifestation which was there between Dharani, the Bhumi, earth, and the sky. It was that love. And it is her way of protecting the cosmos and the individual. with that one loud sound produced by Chandika. It can be Om or it can be her mantra. If it is ringing so loudly within, all other sounds of thoughts will be drowned and it seizes all power in it. It will become powerless. And that is how she controls the mind and also the cosmos. ततः सिंहो महानादम् अतीव कृतवान् नृप घण्टास्वनेन तान् नादान् अम्बिका चोपबृंहयत्. O Nrupa, O king. Next what happened is that Simha of Devi also gave such a big roar. Ativa Kritavan. With such a big roar, Simha produced the sound. Not only that, even Ghanta Nada, the bell also started ringing so loudly. And Ambika gave the roar which was superseding these two sounds. So she was that loud. So there is no way anyone can escape anywhere from this sound, which is so killing. Like Dhanurjya Simha Ghantanam Nada Din Mukha Ninadai Bhishanai Kali Jigye Vistaritanana. And Kali, with all the more louder roar, she superseded the sound of the Simha, the sound of the Ganta, the bell, and also the sound of Chandika. And she gave such a big roar with her Vistaritanana, with her loud mouth. So, how well they are using Nada as Srishti Sthiti Laya to take care of all the three. Sound is that important in the manifestation. So I think I will have to stop here. Om Shiva Shakti, Shiva Shakti, Shiva Shakti Om. 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 Shiva Shakti, Shiva Shakti, Shiva Shakti Om.